Guess what? If someone looks rich, they're probably not. And yeah, I said it, because the real wealth, it's wearing sweatpants, it's sipping drip coffee, and it's walking right past you, without a single logo in sight. Don't believe me? All right, here. Let me paint you a picture. You see a guy at Starbucks, hoodie, beat-up sneakers, drives a 2009 Toyota with a missing hubcap. You probably think, dude's one paycheck away from selling plasma. And that's fair, but here's the plot twist. That guy owns 3 apartment buildings. He paid off his house in cash, and his net worth makes your favorite influencer look like a college intern on minimum wage. Welcome to the secret society of stealth wealth, where rich people don't flex. They invest. Where the loudest person in the room is usually broke, and the quietest one could buy the building you're standing in. Today, I'm going to show you how stealth wealth will completely flip your life upside down, in the best way possible. If you've ever felt tired of chasing clout, burning through money, or living just to keep up appearances, this might be the most important video you watch all year. Because by the end of this, you won't just understand stealth wealth, you'll be ready to live it and win quietly while the world's still screaming for attention. But the first thing I want to start with is modern-day society, because it is the foundation of everything I explain in this video. We live in a world where people flex harder than their gym trainer. Rolex on the wrist? That's not success, that's payments. Luxury car? That's not wealth, that's a lease and low self-esteem in leather seats. Meanwhile, the real millionaires, they're sitting in the economy section, flying Southwest with a rewards card. And while everyone else is screaming, "Look how rich I am!" they're whispering, "I'm free." Because stealth wealth isn't just a money move, it's a mindset, a strategy, a silent revolution that changes the way you move, think, and build power. And don't worry, it's all going to make sense by the time you watch this entire video, as I literally break down each and every stage to help you clearly understand. Stage 1, what is stealth wealth and why it's so dangerous to the broke ego? Okay, let's define it real quick. Stealth wealth is the art of having money without flaunting. It's driving a Camry when you can afford a Lambo. It's dressing like a high school teacher while owning $5 million in assets. It's ordering drip coffee instead of bragging about your oat milk foam-topped unicorn latte on Instagram. Now, why is this so powerful? Because in a society obsessed with optics, stealth wealth flips the script. You don't get validation from strangers. You get freedom from noise. You become immune to lifestyle inflation. You dodge fake friends. You avoid attention from people who only want what you have, not who you are. It's not hiding wealth. It's protecting peace. And the moment you embrace that, your life changes immediately. So now that we know what stealth wealth is, let's talk about the first way it completely rewires your life, and it starts with your bank account. Stage 2, you stop bleeding money to impress people who don't care. Ever bought shoes because you hoped someone would notice them? Spoiler, they didn't. Ever paid $200 for dinner just to post it on Instagram? Double spoiler, nobody cared. When you adopt stealth wealth, something amazing happens. You stop spending money to prove you have money. You realize looking rich is expensive, being rich is boring, but staying rich, that's stealth. And the moment you stop playing the who's got the flashiest drip game, you save thousands immediately. Real wealth isn't loud, it's stacked. By the way, if you're someone still working on your path to financial freedom, be sure to subscribe and join the channel for early access to our members-only playlist. We've created specific videos to help you finally master the money game. Okay, now this next one stings because it's personal for me and kind of hard for me to touch on, but it's something you need to know. Stage 3, you finally build quiet confidence instead of loud insecurity. Okay, now here's a brutally honest truth. Most people aren't confident. They're just loud. And if you're someone who follows the Stealth Wealth series, you'll know that you don't need to talk about your success because you're living it. You don't argue about status. You are the status. It's like going to the party and knowing you could buy the building, but you don't even mention it. That's not arrogance. That's power with discipline. Stealth wealth rewires your self-esteem. It detaches it from things and attaches it to self-worth. You know what's cooler than a Rolex? Not needing anyone to know you could buy 10 of them. Now that you've built that quiet confidence, let's look at how stealth wealth makes you 10 times more strategic, especially with money. Stage 4. You start playing the long game. Let me put it like this. When you're caught up in looking rich, you're not playing the money game. You're playing financial karaoke. You're mouthing the words, but the wealth isn't yours. Every paycheck becomes a performance. Every dollar you make goes out trying to prove to strangers that you're doing well. But stealth wealth flips the script. Instead of trying to impress the world, you start trying to own it. Slowly, quietly, methodically. Let me hit you with a cold, harsh truth. If your money disappears faster than it shows up, you're not building wealth. You're burning it. Stealth wealth makes you think in decades, not weekends. All right, look, I need to address something real quick, so pay attention. Flashy money is literally always obsessed with this weekend. Where are we going? What are we wearing? What's the flex? Meanwhile, stealth wealth is asking, what assets am I stacking this year? How much passive income will I have by 40? What's my plan to never have to work again? It's a mental shift from consumer to investor. You're not looking at price tags anymore. You're looking at value, ROI, and long-term scalability. Think about it. Anyone can rent a Lamborghini for a weekend. But can you own the apartment complex that pays for that Lambo every month? Different game, different mindset. Anyway, let's get back to the point. Stealth wealth makes you a chess player in a world full of checkers. Every move is intentional. Every dollar has a mission. And every year, you're playing the long game that 99% of people aren't even thinking about. You're not rich for the gram. You're wealthy for life, and no one even sees it coming. Now we're playing the long game. Let's talk about what stealth wealth does to your circle, because not everyone's invited. Stage 5. You attract better people and repel the leeches. To be honest, I don't know why I haven't already discussed this in this stealth wealth series, but it's a topic I want to explain to you now. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Most people only love you until the free ride stops. And when your entire identity is built on looking successful, guess who shows up? Fake friends, broke advisors, clout-chasing connections, and relatives you haven't seen since your 3rd grade spelling bee. Everyone suddenly wants to catch up. Translation: hey, what can I get from you? But the moment you stop flexing and start moving in stealth mode, the leeches evaporate, and the real ones, they rise to the top like cream in a sea of powdered milk. The psychology of flex. Why flash attracts the wrong people. All right, let's break this down even further. When you show off wealth, you're not just attracting attention, you're attracting expectation. People think you're their ticket out. They start doing the math on your behalf. Oh, he's got that new Rolex. He must have $100,000 in the bank. He won't mind helping me out with rent. Oh, she drives a Benz. She can definitely sponsor my business idea. Spoiler, it's never a good one. People start treating you like a walking ATM with a Gucci belt. But when you go stealth, they assume you're average. And guess what? That's glorious. It means no awkward loan requests, no emotional manipulation disguised as just a little help. No freeloaders trying to network their way into your wallet. You trade shallow validation for deep insulation. Stealth wealth filters the room for you. Here's what's wild. You don't even have to say no anymore. Stealth wealth says it for you. People who only hang around because they think you're rich, they don't stick around when they can't see the bling. You suddenly become boring to the drama queens, uninteresting to the flexers, invisible to the opportunists, and that's exactly what you want. Because when you stop leading with, look what I have, you start attracting people who are about, who are you really? That's how stealth wealth creates space for real friendships, healthy partnerships, and relationships built on shared values, not shared credit cards. But let's get deeper. Because there's a shift stealth wealth triggers that hits your core identity. The law of alignment, you attract what you prioritize. This is golden advice I want you to remember for the rest of your life. If you constantly signal that money is your personality, you'll attract people who treat you like a walking wallet. But when you prioritize peace, purpose, and privacy, you attract people aligned with your actual mission, not your imagined status. Friends who are on the wealth-building journey, not the weekend party circuit. Mentors who talk about equity, not ego. Partners who understand legacy, not logos. Your circle gets smaller and way more powerful. Stealth wealth even strengthens your relationships. Want to know the silent killer of relationships? Financial resentment. It's when people assume you have it easy because they see your success, but they never saw the late nights, the sacrifices, the discipline. With stealth wealth, you take that toxic assumption off the table. You give your partner, friends, or team the ability to focus on your character, not your cash flow visibility. You create relationships that don't feel transactional. They feel intentional. Keep in mind what I'm about to tell you. Stealth wealth is the greatest social filter ever invented. It cuts through the noise. It scares away the surface-level users, and it forces people to value you for your substance, not your symbols. Because the truth is, if your friendships depend on what you can give, they were never friendships. They were negotiations. So now that your circle's tighter, your boundaries are stronger, and the clout chasers have vanished. Let's take it even deeper. What happens when stealth wealth changes not just who's around you, but how you think? Stage 6. You stop being a consumer and start thinking like an owner. If there's one piece of advice I want you to take from this video, it's this. When you ditch the need to show off, your brain changes. You stop thinking, how can I spend this? And start thinking, how can I multiply this? You go from new iPhone to new shares in Apple, from let me flex this designer belt to let me buy the real estate that pays me every month. You start making wealth decisions instead of impulse purchases. Ownership becomes the flex. Now here's where it gets wild. Stealth wealth doesn't just change your habits. It upgrades your freedom. Stage 7. You move through the world with total freedom. You know what stealth wealth gives you? Freedom to say no to toxic jobs, no to fake relationships, no to people who undervalue you. Because when you're not chasing status, you're not scared to walk away. You can dress how you want, live how you want, work how you want. Because stealth wealth gives you options. It's not about hiding, it's about choosing your peace and moving like a ghost with a trust fund. So we've talked about mindset, money, freedom, but stealth wealth has one more powerful gift. It gives you leverage. Stage 8, you gain unfair advantage in life and business. Let me be blunt with you because I don't want to sugarcoat anything here. Power is most effective when people don't see it coming. Stealth wealth gives you that. Imagine negotiating a deal. The other person thinks you're small time. Meanwhile, you could buy their business in cash. That's power. When people underestimate you, you win. When they don't see your resources, you outmaneuver them. Stealth wealth turns you into a silent shark. And now for the cherry on top. Let's talk about what stealth wealth does to your mental health. Stage 9. You stop competing and start living. All right, pay attention. It goes like this. You stop refreshing Instagram to compare your life to strangers. You stop playing the who has the better vacation game. You stop feeling broke just because someone else looks flashy. Because now you know the truth. Most of them are pretending. And you're actually free. Stealth wealth removes the comparison trap. You live your values, your pace, your peace. You realize happiness isn't in a G-Wagon. It's in a quiet Tuesday with no debt and passive income rolling in. So what happens when all these changes come together? You become someone else entirely. Stage 10, you become untouchable. Let's stop playing around for a second and get serious. If you've made it this far in the video, one thing is probably clicking in your head right now. This isn't just about money. This is about becoming a completely different version of myself. And that's exactly what stealth wealth does. It doesn't just transform your finances. It transforms your identity. You start showing up differently, thinking differently, commanding life differently. You become the person who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word. People can just feel you've got it together. You're not chasing status. You are the status. You're not running after opportunities. They come looking for you. You're no longer playing defense in life. You're running the offense, calling plays from a position of power, peace, and patience. Untouchable means unshakable. Let's be clear, untouchable doesn't mean arrogant. It doesn't mean cold. It doesn't mean secretive in a paranoid way. It means your peace can't be bought. Your decisions aren't swayed by noise. Your lifestyle isn't dictated by TikTok trends, social pressure, or trying to impress Chad with the rented McLaren. You have nothing to prove and everything to protect. And when your energy gives off that vibe, that calm confidence, that I don't need attention, I've got ownership vibe, you become a magnet for power, influence, and respect. Real power is invisible. Look at the world's most influential people. The real ones, not the YouTube pranksters or rented jet gurus, but the ones who move markets, control industries, and build legacy wealth. They don't flex. They don't post every purchase. They don't need applause. Because when you're really winning, you don't need validation. You need privacy. Privacy is leverage. Privacy is peace. Privacy is protection. That's why stealth wealth isn't just a tactic. It's a shield. It guards you from overspending, overexposure, overcompensating, and most importantly, it shields you from becoming a performer in someone else's circus. You stop being on stage and start owning the building. The stealth wealth glow up, internal versus external. Here's the kicker. When you live the stealth wealth lifestyle long enough, you start to glow, but not in the way you think. Not with diamonds or designer belts or luxury cars. You glow with peace, discipline, financial clarity, emotional control, long-term vision, freedom from the algorithm of validation. And people will look at you like, there's something about them. I don't know what it is, but I want it. They won't know it's stealth wealth. They'll just sense you're different. And that's the point. Because when you truly become untouchable, people don't admire you for your stuff. They admire you for your aura. You've built a life that's rare, resilient, rooted in substance, not style. Okay, now let me leave you with this. Quiet wealth isn't about staying hidden, it's about staying in control. When the world screams, "Look at me," you whisper, "Watch what I build." You don't need the spotlight, you own the stage. You just need to stop chasing noise and start building real value, real peace, and real wealth. And the day you realize that is the day everything, your money, your mind, your relationships, your freedom, finally starts working in your favor. In fact, if true financial freedom is what you desire, there are actually 15 assets every wealthy individual uses to get richer. And we break it down in this next video. Just click the video on the screen here, and we'll see you in the next one.